Hi, everyone. It's Friday, May 14th, and I want to take a moment to talk with you a little bit and review how we're dealing with the climate survey that was taken by all faculty and staff on April the 21st. We hadn't done a climate survey in about 5 years in our district, and the Board of Education felt like it was very important that we take another climate survey to find out what areas we can improve in and try to address any climate issues that may exist within our district. So the board made that part of their strategic plan for the 2010-11 school year. As a result, we did complete the climate survey on April 21st, and we received some tremendous information from that. And from that information, we have been able to do some follow-up activities, which I'd like to talk a little bit about with you. On Wednesday of this week, we held a meeting. We called it a World Cafe, where we invited, or we actually had representatives come in from each of the job categories in our school district. And we asked each of you to actually nominate the people that would serve on that committee or serve in that meeting to represent your interests. And I want to thank those people before we get started or before I move too much further through this. From the certified staff from the Early Childhood Center, we had Chris Shipla and Todd Painter. From the elementary school, we had Jane Province and Brandon Peterson. From the intermediate school, Sandy Hennessy and Betsy Coward. From the middle school, we had Jim Hitchcock and Michelle Painter and Tricia Hall. And from the high school, we had Mitch Hammond, Jane Swinney, Kevin McCleary, and Dave Sincular. From the non-certified staff, from the kitchen, we had Jolene Kelly and Diane Gagliardo. We had aides, Ronnie Aldridge and Paula Crawford, as well as Marianne Melvin. And then we had from the nursing department, Melissa Vigna. From the secretaries, we had Vicki Ryan and Karen Voda. And from the custodial staff, we had Joe Folletti, Sherry Martis, and Sam Marshall. Oh, and we also had Burgundy Lander, who represented the aides as well. So I appreciate the time and effort that all of them put in the meeting that we held on Wednesday. We met from 11:30 to 3:30, and during that meeting, we identified some essential questions that were common across the district that came through the climate survey. And I want to review those questions with you very quickly so that everyone knows what we focused on in the climate survey. The first two questions, we had certified staff and non-certified staff working together because the questions were common to both groups through the climate survey. So the first question that both groups dealt with was, what role should staff members play in the decision-making process of an effective school district? The second question we dealt with as a group was, how does an effective organization communicate decisions to staff members? So the first two questions really dealt with communication issues. And what we talked about is, what does a model system look like? And we brainstormed answers, we had different groups working together, and we really came up with some dynamic information that I think we're going to be able to put to use in our district. For questions 3 and 4 for each group, we separated into certified and non-certified staff because the questions through the climate survey were different for each of those groups. So for example, for the non-certified staff, we looked at the following two questions. What does an effective professional growth program for non-certified staff look like in a school district? And the fourth question was, how can non-certified staff support the academic achievement goals of the district? For the certified staff, we looked at two questions. The third question was, how should a school district determine and implement an instructional technology plan? And the fourth question was, educators have expressed that they feel overwhelmed in the climate survey. How does a quality school district maintain high standards and avoid this feeling amongst their certified staff? So once again, we had some excellent conversation that took place. We got a lot of information from the meetings. I think people shared openly and honestly. And now the real challenge becomes, how do we utilize all this information and develop a plan for continuous improvement in our school district? Also, another phase to looking at the climate survey results is at the building level. The building level results are going to be shared with building principals who are going to be using that information to identify building specific issues that they can tackle in their district to improve the climate of their individual schools. And those results differ by school, so the building principals will be working with faculty and staff to address those questions as well. So we really have two distinct layers of questions that we dealt with. Wednesday, we dealt with district level questions. And then at the beginning of next school year, you're going to be tackling as a building your building specific questions. But overall, the goal is the same, to develop a building improvement plan for each building and to develop a district improvement plan centered around the results of the climate survey. Once again, I want to thank everyone for the time and effort that they put in during this process. We received valuable information. Your input is vital, and we will continue to come back to you as we figure how we're going to incorporate the information that you provided into a continuous improvement plan for the school district. Thank you.